Good morning. It is Tuesday, April 6th, and I'm so excited to see you. I hope you had a wonderful day yesterday. Today we're going to continue looking at abbreviations. I asked you yesterday to see if you could figure out what some of the abbreviations were for other days in the week. So I have 4 of those days written up here. I'm going to write the abbreviations and you check to see if you were correct. Tuesday is abbreviated capital T, U, E, S, period. They use the first 4 letters of the word. Wednesday is abbreviated capital W, E, D, period. First 3 letters. It's very important to put those periods at the end. Otherwise, it's not considered an abbreviation. You need to make sure you put that period at the end of the abbreviation. Thursday, capital T, H, U, R, S. Sometimes they do THUR, kind of depends, but this is usually the more common abbreviation. It's a little bit longer. And Friday is abbreviated FRI, period. And that's how those abbreviations should look. We're going to be reviewing some pages in our 68 Ways to Save the Planet Before Bedtime. But before we get to that book and look at it just one more time, I have a few words up here on the board. I'm going to kind of stand on this side so you can see me. These, again, are some high-frequency words. These are words we would expect you to be able to read in print when you see them. So we're going to practice saying them together. Again, I know you're there by yourself and we're not here as a whole class, but please try to practice reading them out loud along with me. Here we go. Important, mountain, bike, south. 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 Wonderful job. Now, I would like you to get out your book, 68 Ways to Save the Planet Before Bedtime. We are going to do a quick review on just a few of the pages. The first page that I would like you to open up to is page 2 and 3. It should look like this. We're going to take a look at this page and we're going to think about this question. Why did they say that saving the world was special or important? Why should we do this? So take a look. I'm going to give you a minute. Think about your answer. Why is the book here special? What does this book give us that other texts may not? The answer is because you can start anywhere you want in the book. If you remember when we read it, you can open up to any page that interests you and get good information on ways to help save the planet. And that was one of the purposes for writing this book, to make it engaging but also easy for you to use. I would like you to now turn to page 6 and 7. This was actually one of the first pages that we read, if I remember correctly. We kind of jumped ahead and we were looking at the little boy wearing the t-shirt. So if I take a look at this book, or these pages, and I'm going to rethink this question. Here you go. What is the connection between the t-shirts and global warming? What is the connection between a t-shirt and global warming? Do you have an idea? All right, if the factories are making lots of t-shirts, they're producing all of those chemicals in the air, which we call greenhouse gases. if we don't have as many t-shirts being made, then that means there aren't as many greenhouse gases affecting our planet. So the message on this page, if you recall, was to buy fewer clothes, buy fewer t-shirts, right? Kind of use what you already have in your closet. We're gonna look at one more page. I want you to turn to page 16 and 17. Looks like this. These are the ones with the kids on the bicycle, and they're talking about ways to use your bicycle. The author is hoping that you can make a personal connection to this text. Ideally, most of you have a bicycle or you've ridden on a bicycle at some point. So a lot of their examples are ones that you personally can apply to your everyday life. So for example, you might be able to take your bicycle to school one day as opposed to being driven. For some of you that's a possibility, and for others it may not be, depending upon where you live and the distance that you have to travel and the streets you have to cross. What else could you possibly do with your bicycle instead of being in a car? And the author is hoping that you can make a personal connection to the text at that point. All right, we are now going to just review the main idea that they have with this book. So I'm going to erase my little makeshift board here. Oh, I forgot, the purple doesn't come off as well as the black. But we know how much I love purple, so I tend to use it. Okay, main idea. I'm going to do kind of like a little mini graphic organizer. And I'm going to say main idea. What does the author actually want us to do? Okay. They want us to save the planet. So they wrote the book. So it's ways to save the planet. Now remember, with my main idea, I have to have supporting details, which is what you should be working on with your opinion writing piece. It's not enough to just have your opinion. You have to be able to support that opinion. We like 3, and we know why, because 3 is our magic number. So I'm going to have 3 details, 3 ways or to save my planet, or 3 reasons why this is an important concept. So I'm just going to kind of draw myself some boxes here. You don't have to. I just kind of like the way it looks. So there are my boxes, and I have to fill them in. Well, I remember from that one page, they're riding on the bicycles. So I think one of the ways to save the planet would be to use cars less. Notice it's a phrase. I didn't write a whole sentence, and that's okay because this is a graphic organizer. This is kind of where I take my notes. Later, when I get ready to write my opinion piece, I can use that and make it into a more detailed sentence. Okay? Was there another way? I remember, I think we're supposed to recycle some of that garbage. And I don't mean like the compost stuff like banana peels. We wouldn't reuse those. But remember when we did that with the egg cartons, and I brought in my egg cartons and we painted them green, and hopefully when we get back to school we'll be able to play that math game with them. But I repurposed some of those recyclable materials instead of just putting them into a landfill. So I could say waste less. That could be another supporting concept for my ways to save the planet. This is something else that I can do. Now, I have to come up with one more. Oh, and I have to kind of think about maybe all those other pages, and there's some other ideas that are in that book. Remember, there's 68 of them. There's quite a few. But the one I remember is unplugging things that we're not using. And remember, we had a discussion about what was plugged into our classroom and what we leave plugged in, but then what we unplug. And I shared with you the district policy on what we're supposed to unplug, say like over spring break or over the summer, and then what we actually leave plugged in all the time. So I'm gonna put down unplug things you don't need. Okay? So if it's something I'm not using or I don't need for a while, I'm better off unplugging it, because even if it's plugged in, there's a tiny bit of electricity, right, that's running through it, even if I've actually turned it off. So being really conscious of this one could help save our planet. Okay, I hope you're doing a wonderful job on your opinion writing piece, and I will see you a little bit later this afternoon. Goodbye.